Hi everyone, this is Madison. The case study that we discussed this week is about a 5th grade English teacher named Mrs. Smith. She is teaching her students about synonyms and antonyms with lessons that fall within the Common Core standard for English language arts. Mrs. Smith is having her students fill out exit slips at the end of class in case the students have any questions about that specific lesson. And she's also wanting them to use that relationship between particular words to have a better understanding of the words and a better understanding of words by using their antonyms and synonyms. There are a few goals that Mrs. Smith is wanting to achieve by using the exit slip method. The first one is she wants to read the students' responses and be able to use that information in order to help her plan for the lesson the next day. The second one is she wants to be able to track not only individual students, but the entire class's growth to see what they have understood. And the final goal is she wants to be able to give feedback to individuals who not only are having a full understanding of every lesson in every class time, but also to those that need more work. Since she has 5 ELA block lessons every single class period, she does come into contact with some challenges. The first one being that it seems difficult to precisely evaluate the students' understanding since they tend to not write much, or their answers are vague, which is very common for elementary students since they don't really either know what to write or they just want to write a simple answer and be done with the assignment. The second one being that it's difficult to get the bigger picture and be able to understand the trends and or patterns in the students' understanding since it's hard because she has to keep in mind that she will end up with 20 slips of paper at the end of every class period, and she's not really able to see how easily students have improved. The last one being not being able to give feedback to students after each lesson or even the entire week. She's looking for a technology system that will both achieve these goals and eliminate these challenges and will make her exit slip method a little bit easier. So the tech demo that I have chosen that I believe not only suits her goals, but also eliminates these challenges that Mrs. Smith is wanting is Kahoot. Now, Kahoot, I feel I have used it in grade school all the way through high school, and I've even used it in some classes in college because a lot of teachers feel that it's a great tool to help students study for an upcoming test or quiz, but in this case, help students have a better understanding of a lesson. So in order to first use Kahoot, you will go to have a new tab, click a new tab if you don't already have Kahoot open. So what you'll do is you'll type in Kahoot, and as you can see, it pops up right here. So you'll click right there, and then you'll click the first link. So once you click the first link, you will have a button up here that says sign up or log in. If you have an account already, you'll just click login. If you don't, you'll click sign up and you will follow the instructions that come on your screen. So since I have an account and since I'm already logged in, which is a nice thing, this will pop up. So as you can see, your name pops up and your username and then all of these will pop up. So over here, you have, if you've created Kahoots in the past, it will pop up. It will pop up under my Kahoots, and as you can see, I have two. So this is the one that we're going to want to play, and you will press start, and this is what's going to pop up. So you have either classic mode or team mode or these other modes for multiplayer. So we're just going to do the classic mode. And once the game pin, which is these 7 numbers, you are going to either scan the QR code with anything that has a camera, or you're going to go to this website, or if you have the app, you're going to go on the app. So since we are going to do the website, you're going to go up here and you're going to type in kahoot.it. And as you can see, when you type that in, it will say enter game pin, Kahoot, and kahoot.it. So you're going to press search, and then you will go here. And in here, this is where you enter the game pin, the 7 numbers that you saw on the previous screen. So what you're just going to do is type those numbers in, and you'll press enter. Now this screen is where you will enter your player name so that others can see who you are. So you can either put in your actual name or just a funny, silly name. We're just going to do my name. And then you'll press OK, go. And then as you can see here, this is your character that you're going to be associated with throughout the game. And then you'll go back to here, and you should be able to see your name and all the other players' names on the screen. One thing about having Kahoot is if a teacher feels that a student's username is inappropriate or anything like that, they're able to remove that by just hovering over the username, and a white line will pop up and it will show, and if you just click that, that will get rid of that username. So then you're going to click start, and the name of the quiz will pop up, and then up here is however many questions there are in the quiz. This is the name of the first question. Here is however many seconds you have until the question is over. Here is how many people have answered the question already. And then here, as you can see, these are your answer choices. So there's either going to be 1 or 2. There could be 1 or multiple correct answers. So you'll have to make sure that you read them carefully and press the right one. These shapes and colors are the same throughout the entire quiz or game or whatever. And then here, so once the timer runs out, this screen will show, and this is of the right answer or answers, and this up here shows how many people have clicked on the answer choices. So since this was right, say there was 5 people who clicked this answer, that would mean 5 people got this answer right. And if there were 3, 4, and 2, that would show 3, 4, and 2, but they would get it wrong. So, and then here is the scoreboard, and as you can see, it will show the username, the name of the players, each of the players, and then here is your score. Based on whatever your score is, you will either be in the top 5, meaning your name will show up on the scoreboard, or you're below that, depending on how many players there are. Your goal is to really stay in the top 3 because if you're in the top 3, then this is what will show. So once all of the questions have been answered and it's the end of the game, this is what's going to show up, and this is the podium. So whoever's in 3rd place will show up here, who's ever in 2nd place will be up here, and the person who had the most amount of points will be in 1st place. This is your overall goal that you want to be, because if you're in the top 3, then that shows that you have a good understanding of what the questions were asking. And so that's the nice thing. It's just for fun. A lot of students, they like it. They think it's for fun. So then how did Kahoot achieve the goals that Mrs. Smith wanted her students to achieve? It's because she's able to read her students' responses. In other words, it allows her to see what answer the students have chosen, but it also helps her plan her lesson for the following day or days as well. It's also able to track the individual students and the class as a whole. Since she's able to go back and see past answers that the students have clicked on and be able to track their progress depending on to see if they've improved or if they have not. The last one is she's able to give feedback because it allows her to help any students that are still having some trouble and help them understand better, since sometimes some of the questions they won't be different, but sometimes some students may still have some trouble with that question or questions and won't know what answer to pick. And finally, how did Kahoot eliminate her challenges? So her first challenge was she wanted to precisely evaluate her students' understanding. It eliminates this challenge because since students are in quote unquote taking quizzes, then the answers aren't going to be vague. It's going to be a very specific answer, and it's going to help the students not only understand better, but it's also going to help Mrs. Smith evaluate that understanding. It also gives the bigger picture of understanding the trends and or patterns, since this helps because she won't have to worry about having to filter through the 20 slips of paper by the end of each class period and figure out what students have improved and what students haven't. The third one is she's able to track the individual growth and the entire class growth over the course of the week, because again, she won't have 100 or plus papers by the end of the week piling up on her desk. So with using Kahoot, she's able to see the growth of the students based on the point system. And finally, she's able to give feedback to the students because it allows her to help with any students that still need work on things and or give them some pointers, but she's also able to give feedback to students that have successfully understood that lesson.